My dad had brought me to the hospital so many times before I was 12 that the doctor pulled me aside out of the room to ask if there was something I needed to tell him.
Oh, wow. You thought your dad did it?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, that happened.
You got pulled aside because do we need to call Child Protective Services?
Yeah, I didn't understand what he was talking about. I was
teenagers are not supposed to be like Evel Knievel, where you keep on coming in for broken bones.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to an experimental edition of Hawk vs. Wolf.
Don't make it.
What?
Now you're scaring me. It's going to be fun.
We have a guest virtually. We have a guest online. We have a very special guest, Mr. Jack Black.
It's huge. I'm excited. I'm
excited. Thank you, Jack, for making time for us.
Pleasure is mine. Are you kidding? My time is your time.
How is everything going in these strange days?
It's going good. I sprained my ankle on a Conan O'Brien farewell show, and that was a while ago. It was like 6 weeks ago. So I should be totally better by now, but I'm not, because now I'm 52, and it takes me a little bit longer to heal up. And I got some torn ligaments. Did the MRI.
Oh wow!
And so I'm just taking my time because my ankle is key. I'm not one of those comedians who just like writes brilliant jokes. I have to dance, and usually in Speedos. And I feel like America needs me at 100%. So I'm just taking it easy. I'm doing the physical therapy. But now that I'm talking to you, I feel like a total wuss, because you've like broken every bone in your body, and then you're up skating like the next day.
I'm not built like
you,
ligaments are rough.
Yeah, when you said ligaments, we both were like, yeah, you should be sore still.
Yeah, you should just claim it as a skate injury, because you do skate.
Yeah, you shred.
I do. I don't do like the things that I should. For how many years I've put into my skating, I'm not able to do the things I should be able to do.
But you do have a mini ramp in your backyard.
Instance.
Ollieing is overrated.
Yes. You know? Ollieing is, well, I would not say it's overrated.
I was just trying to make you feel better.
I look at people who ollie and I go, why? What did I miss? I missed some. But you know what? It's a very proud day for me, because just yesterday, my boy Tommy went down to Atwater. You familiar with that skate park?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't been there, but I've seen photos of it.
And check this if you can see. I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to show you.
Oh, dropping in.
You got it. He's never dropped in before. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. Come on, boy. You got this. Terror.
Oh! Hey! Wow, that was good.
He's already done something I've never had the courage to do.
That was good.
It's what you hope for. It's what you hope for your offspring, that they can surpass you, that they can go further than you did. Isn't it scary, though, when you do give them that freedom to try it, but you're still in the back of your mind like, maybe I should tell him not to. Right. What if he gets hurt? Yeah. No, he's got this cut to chipped teeth at the doctor. Yeah. There's always the little bit of fear, but you got to shove those birdies out the nest sometime.
You do, yes. But at what point are you reckless?
Yeah.
It's a fine line.
That's the line. That's the question.
That is, yeah. That was great, though. That was awesome.
Question.
Yeah, I remember skating the mini ramp with him, and he couldn't really even get to the top back then.
How long ago was that?
That was probably a year and a half ago.
They put in some work.
It was pre-pandemic times.
Pre-pandemic,
it was like right before the pando.
Yeah, we came up. Riley and I came to Jack's house, and we did a little.
I saw that
interview, jam session, playing video games. It was fun.
That was a heavenly day, and Riley was very kind excited. Of like it was kind of what that ramp was built for. It was bait to get Tony and his son to our backyard, and by God, it worked.
Finally, it worked.
That was heaven. Thanks.
And then fast forward to what was that? Maybe 8-9 months later, we did the jam session at Mutato Music with Mark Mothersbaugh and Josh Freeze. That was pretty amazing.
That was
like,
amazing.
if I were ever to imagine, in Fast Times, when Spicoli spends his reward money on getting the Rolling Stones or Van Halen to play his birthday party.
Yeah.
I felt like that was my birthday party.
It was on level with that. When you're that close to rock royalty. I remember when I was in high school, one time I went to someone's backyard party and, believe it or not, Fire Hose was playing.
Wow.
Blast from the past. Yeah, that was like late 80s.
They're skate video legends.
Yeah.
They did the song that Nada skated to in the Streets of Fire.
Yeah.
Well, that's some punk legitness right there.
Yeah, that was my punk rock initiation days. The Minutemen, Fire Hose, Meat Puppets, those were the salad days. Those were powerful, potent. SST was the label of choice of punk rock, West Side punk rock. What about
your metal encounters?
We were the punk rock epicenter of the world, like South Bay, Hermosa Beach. If you look at that burgeoning culture, it's right there with any kind of like punk, any kind of rock and roll renaissance that there's been. Because, there's been hot spots all over the world. At a certain time, Seattle had it. At a certain time, London has it. New York has it. But Hermosa Beach,
that's where I live. Hermosa Beach.
Yeah, well, I mean, when it was like Circle Jerks and Black Flag, and
is that why Pennywise lives there?
I don't know if that's why they live there, but
they're born.
Yeah, they're still living off the fumes of the 1980s
they're later.
punk
they're a
rock.
later generation.
Oh, they probably moved there for it.
No, I think they just lived there and became punk. I don't know, but what Jason was asking is more, what about your metal roots?
Yeah, because I saw you play a little bit of a song with James Hetfield where you introduced him and then he jammed a little bit and then you were like, yeah, fuck it, I'm going to sing a part of a Metallica song. And I was like, holy shit, dude. You are one-on-one with James Hetfield doing the thing that's the thing that I would want to do more than anything that you can do on this planet. What is that like, and how well do you know him?
That was a moment, and it was a sad event. It was Chris Cornell's memorial concert fundraiser for a charity that he supported while he was alive, and James Hetfield was there with Metallica, and they were gonna go on, and they asked me to go out and introduce Metallica. That was my job for the night.
That's it. You didn't talk to James about making a song on stage. That was completely improv.
That was all improv. So they told me, they're coming. The crowd is getting a little restless, Jack. We got to keep the night moving. Can you go out there and just stretch a little while and then introduce them when I give you the sign? And I was like, no problem. What do you think I am? I'm a pro. And I go out there and I sing a little Soundgarden and talk a little bit about Chris Cornell and how rad he was. And then I was like, are y'all ready for the next band up to bat? And I look in the wings and the producer's like, no, stretch. And I've already given my best 5 minutes of stretching. I didn't know that they were going to ask me for more. And I don't have like a deep well of material. I'm not a stand-up comedian. So then I was like, no problem. And then I started to flop sweat and I froze a little bit. And then from behind me, I heard like a guitar chord or something. I looked back and there was James Hetfield just emerging from the steam from the clouds to save me from just dying in front of the crowd. And I just went to him and I was like, dude, you saved me. Thank God. Ripcord rescue. And he just started playing one, but from And Justice for All, which is like my favorite song of all time. That's fucking down, 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 shake it down, 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 down. And then he went into the and I knew right where to go, and I just went right landmine.
He went straight into it, dude. It looked like they'd planned it for days. I was like, whoa, those guys collaborated on this.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And so we just did that little bit, and then the rest of the band came in, and I introduced them. And I knew that Kyle was in the audience. Kyle's my partner in my band, Tenacious D.
Yep.
And I lived
KG,
for
Rage
making
Cage.
Kyle jealous. Yeah, Rage Cage was in the audience, just green with envy that I was partying with Metallica, and so
We
that
all
was
were.
one of my happiest moments.
And he can
'Cause-
play classical, right?
James Hetfield. Oh, Kyle Gass.
Kyle. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's
But
a
I mean, I can just
classical-
imagine him seeing James, like, I could be playing that.
Oh yeah. No, it definitely opened a deep wound because Kyle was like,
I get that. I'm such a fan that I almost felt jealous. Like, even though it doesn't make any sense that I would be there, I was like, no, not an actual riff off with, like, you're
That's so
singing
great.
with him and he's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, man, I'll riff with it. I'm like, not even real.
I remember a moment. Jason was he was doing some stuff for ESPN for a while during X Games.
Wow.
And ESPN had the Action Sports Music Awards sometime around 2002,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, and a guy fell through on
And-
the red carpet and they asked me if I wanted to replace him.
And he got to do the red carpet, and they were doing a huge award to Metallica just because I think it was almost like a made up award.
Yeah, just
it
to
was
get
like
him there.
the coolest music ever in action sports is Metallica, obviously.
Yeah.
And so he got to interview them, and I remember seeing it as I walked up the red carpet, and he showed them his Metallica tattoos. This is 2002. And they were rubbing his leg, seeing if it was like
Yeah, Lars licked his finger and rubbed
Yeah.
on it to see if it came off.
see if it came off.
And I was like, no, that shit's real, dude. Because I had a bunch of chains on. A jeweler had given me a bunch of necklaces, like iced out necklaces to
Yeah.
wear. I was like, yeah, I'll wear them. So now I've got a do-rag and iced out necklaces on. And then Kirk comes up first. And I'm like, I'm the hugest fan. And he's like, really, dude? Like, gives me an up and down. And I go, I swear. And then I go to undo my pants. And all three of them start to walk away because they're like, dude, you're not pulling your dick out on Metallica. And then I get my pants down and they see that I've still got my boxer shorts on. And then I pull that up and I show. And then James goes, he's like, oh, it's the whole thing. I thought I was going to see Met and made a short penis joke on me. And I'm like, man, James Hetfield is giving me a short penis joke. I'm kind of pumped, but
That
I'm
was
also
it. You made it.
Yeah, but then I
That
taught
was his moment. That was
I-
his equivalent.
the moment where I taught James Hetfield the rock lock.
oh
didn't-
yeah,
he didn't know
it.
And then he
I would
did
have
it.
thought he invented that shit.
No. And then he made me do it again when he saw me later on. He's like, what is that thing again? I was
Rock
like,
lock?
rock lock, dude. Rock lock.
Yeah.
You sealed it in.
Yeah.
You taught him and then gave him the booster shot.
Yeah, on your way. So keep going, James Hetfield. Continue. Yeah.
So my only
Yeah.
James Hetfield story is that they played the Austin X Games, and my kids were there, and so we were super excited to go see Metallica live, and we were going to get to go side stage or photo
Yeah.
pit,
Yeah.
and I got to do a little interview with them beforehand.
Oh, shit.
Each one individually,
What?
huge, right? And so then we all rode in golf carts to the stage, like behind them.
Yeah.
And then James gets on the mic, and as soon as he walks out, everyone's, "Wah!" And as soon as he kicks, I don't know what song he started with, but he's like, Tony Hawk, you left your headlights on in your golf cart.
Yes. So good.
Hell
Those,
yeah.
those are our Metallica stories.
There's some golden stories.
How long have you been playing
Those
guitar,
guys,
Jack?
me?
Yeah.
Well, I was a late bloomer. I started playing guitar around 23 years old.
Wow.
Kyle was my teacher. I paid him in Jack in the Box and weed.
Really?
And yeah, and he would
Okay,
he
now
would teach
the
me.
first albums make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Drive through.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was real.
It was those tacos. I'm sure we lost like 15 years of our life on the back end, but worth it. Delicious, delicious. $1 for 2 tacos.
Oh yeah, when I was a kid, Jack in the Box all day.
Oh yeah, those are go-to. But I prefer to spend the $1.25 on the Taco Supreme because you get that little bit of salsa and lettuce. I haven't done those in a while though. I realized life was too precious, and I needed to start taking better care of myself for longevity's purposes.
Yeah, but you do have that
But,
wistfulness, right?
But right from the beginning, like when I was 23 years old, and we were playing, and it's funny. I did say, "Cage, have you ever listened to Metallica?" And he's like, "Nah," and I was like, let me play you this one song. It's the best song in the world. And it was One by Metallica. So and then that led us to writing our own. Well, now it's time for us to write our best song in the world. And we worked on it. And it took like a year because we were always stoned and eating tacos. And to realize we can't write the best song in the world, but we can write
about the best song in the world.
Yes. We can pretend as though we did and talk about how we forgot it. But yeah, so from the beginning, Metallica has been a huge inspiration for us and throughout, you know, if you go further back before One, like Ride the Lightning, classic metal.
Timeless.
Dude, that's so powerful. And then, you know, the Black Album doesn't get as much love from the hardcores because it was like a big commercial success.
Right.
So people are like, nah, dude, I was there way before they sold out. But I say bullshit, dude. Black Album's got classic
jams.
And when they go deep and they go beautiful, it's unbelievable.
I agree.
You know,
I thought every song on that album was amazing.
What's that other song on there that's so...
Nothing Else Matters? The ballad?
Thank you. I can never remember words. I ate too many tacos in my youth. I think it affected my brain stem. But Nothing Else Matters? Are you kidding me?
Can it be? It's finally fall, and we're going to really enjoy the season this year. So naturally, we've started thinking about looking good and getting comfy or / cozy, because we're going places. We're going out there. We're getting out there and seeing people. Going to the office, grabbing drinks, meeting with friends after work, chilling around the campfire. I did that last night. And it's time to get ready with some Faraday clothing. They actually have not just clothing. I didn't know this, but my wife got sunglasses from them, and I got a summer shirt because summer's not. You might be like, yeah, it's not summer, but it is.
It's super hot here.
It got hot here now, so
it's hot outside right now.
I don't answer to whatever you're saying it is. I just got my Faraday shirt on, and my wife's sunglasses are actually really nice. I really like them. They're the best quality clothes. And wait, if you're searching for a flannel shirt, you ever wear a flannel shirt?
Sometimes.
They've got them. They've got some casual puppies, lots to choose from. It's got a lifetime guarantee. I didn't know that either. Looks like it lasts pretty good anyway. I'm not sure I need that. But if you want a discount, 20% off. Wait, we can give you a 20% discount? Yes, we can.
That's 1/5.
So stock up on fall and winter clothes now. Head to FaradayBrand.com and enter the promo code HAWK, as in Tony Hawk, at checkout.
That's HAWK.
Thank you, Tony. I probably needed that. 20% off all the gear. So you can get some shades, get these like sweet shirts, and I guess they got flannels and stuff because maybe it's colder where you are. But that's Faraday, FAHERTY, brand.com. Use the promo code HAWK for 20% off, baby. Thank you, Faraday. Alice Made and Tony Hawk here talking about Manscaped. Tony Hawk uses it. We used it before they sponsored this podcast.
True.
We've been shaving
this is a true
stuff.
story.
It is. This is not a lie. Yes. Are we happy that Manscaped is sponsoring the podcast?
Yes.
Yes. But if they didn't sponsor the podcast, I probably shouldn't admit this, I'm still going to be shaving all my hair with a Manscaped. even if the owner of Manscaped said, you know who I hate the most in life? Jason Ellis.
You're still doing it.
I'm still shaving my butt with those things. Because they are the ultimate tools. They really are.
Good.
They've got it all figured out. I got one for the face and one for everything else. You don't want to cross the swords when it comes to that stuff.
Are they marked, or you just know where you keep them?
No, one's got. I have a blade. I have a trimmer guard for my face, so that trimmer guard one stays in the
Charger?
on a stand right next to the mirror where my toothbrush is, and then I have the down south blade that's in my bag. That's in my like man purse bag.
How do you charge that one?
Every now and then, if it goes flat, I just put it on I switch them out.
that's when you're in the danger zone.
Well, I
switching
keep,
them out.
I keep the guard on so I know which
God,
one.
all right.
Don't ever put the one with no guard on your face, Jason. It was just somewhere else. Yeah, no, that's if you guys want to get one, you could get that. You could get two if you're doing what I'm doing. But let me hook you up with the call to action. 20% off, my friends. Free shipping with the code HawkWolf at manscaped.com. That's 20% off. Free shipping with the code HawkWolf at manscaped.com. Make your balls a priority this fall. Choose Manscaped.
Is that what it says?
Yes! Your balls will thank you. That's what it says.
I'm trying to prioritize here.
There it is. Manscaped.
How did they do that to sing that song and orchestrate that whole song from start to finish, knowing that you're Metallica? I mean, you really threw yourself out the window and was like, let's just do something. Like James singing was, I was like, what's happening to my mind?
Love song.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
So, Jack, I know you've told the story. We've discussed it, but you were a pretty hardcore skater in the early 80s at a time when no one was skating.
We were.
Yeah. I just started like 78, 79, but you told me that you skated Upland, and
what?
That's a big deal in the skateboard world that you skated Upland. Or anyone skated
Pipeline?
Upland. Yeah.
Yep.
I got a tile.
I was there in the 80s. And I was bad at skating. I was skating in the pools there, but I wasn't dropping in, and I wasn't. I was just getting my sea legs, and there was a legendary day where there was whispers around Upland, and they were like, "Tony Hawk," and a teenage Tony Hawk came in, and everyone fucking cleared out and made room, and you just took over the park for a while, and everyone just watched, and
he does that.
But it's funny you remember that, because I was not an Upland local, so most likely I was not welcomed by the crew.
That's so weird.
I mean, I love your memory of it. I'd rather run with it that way, but for sure, I wasn't cool in the eyes of the Upland crew.
Okay, well, maybe.
But I learned how to skate the ball, and I do wonder, did you skate that big ball?
The big boat. Did what?
Did you skate the combi, the big pool there?
I dipped my toe in all of the parts of that park, but I did not. It wasn't proud, and I actually got injured. I hurt my wrist at that park, just trying to grind, and I never really recovered. To be honest with you. This is going to turn into a sad confessional of my weakness of character. But there was a turning point there where I was like, okay, that hurt. And it I never got like x-rays or MRIs or anything, but it was like, I know something went wrong there. And I was like, okay, I can do the work and heal up and get back on the horsey and try to drop in and do all the things. And I was like, nah. And from then on, it just became like my mode of transportation. And then I was a skater only for that function of getting around town.
Yeah, but that says a lot, because people do. I hear stories all the time where people get hurt one of their first time skating, and that's it. They throw their skateboard away, or their dad makes them break it, and they never touch it again. So. There's something to be said.
Depending on who you are, sometimes it's not that bad of an idea to stop.
True.
Some people get hurt so much and they're never going to get anything out of it but pain. And if they're like, no, man, I'm a soul skateboarder that goes to hospital 3 times a year. I don't know. Maybe you should stop and like start a band or something, because it doesn't seem like this is working out.
True.
But in my mind, I did think about you, Tony, when I got hurt. I was like, man, I bet Tony's dad is a skater and taught him all the ways of how not to get hurt. I bet Tony's dad taught him the right way to fall and the right way to you skid on your knees, you never get hurt. And I just assumed that you never got injured, but I know now that that's not true at all. You got mangled, but you just you powered through.
I actually, there was a time when my dad had brought me to the hospital so many times before I was 12 that the doctor pulled me aside out of the room to ask if there was something I needed to tell him.
Oh, wow. You thought your dad did it?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. That happened.
You got pulled aside because do we need to call Child Protective Services?
Yeah. I didn't understand what he was
'Cause, like,
talking about. I was like,
Teenagers are not supposed to be like Evel Knievel, where you keep on
Yeah.
coming in for broken bones.
I think that the conversation ended when he said, "What did you want to tell me? What happened?" I was like, "Yeah, I hung up on a rock and roll. My front foot came off, and then I hit the flat bottom and got knocked out." And all those words just meant, okay, it's not his dad.
Right, because it was such a real story.
Yeah, it
didn't
was
look
like
you were
clearly I
lying.
knew what was going on. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm going back tomorrow to figure out how to make
Oh
that
my
trip.
God.
But that's a key to success right there. And you already had it when you were 12 years old.
yeah, or just stubbornness.
There was another time also where when I was a kid, way earlier, that I used to bomb the hill where I lived in Hermosa Beach on 25th Street, and it was a pretty steep hill. But one time I got the wobbles and I couldn't get out of the wobbles, and I just bailed, and I fell onto the pavement and like rolled for a while and got a couple strawberries, one on this hip and like a little pizza knee, and I was never again will I bomb a hill, because I had so I have this love-hate relationship with skating where I love to do it, but I do also have terror of I can never get the wobbles again. I've gotten the wobbles a couple times. I'm sure that there's like techniques. It's like, no, if you start to get the wobbles, what you do is you put all the weight on your back foot. No one was ever there to tell me what to do in these danger situations.
Speed wobbles.
Tony, what do you do when you get the wobbles?
They're mostly irrecoverable.
I was going to say, what you should do is, sure, you put most weight on the front. You're supposed
Front is what keeps you more steady.
But it's never, in my experience, that's never fucking worked. Like when I get speed wobbles going down a road to the point where I have to go,
eject.
oh no, I have to lean on the front. I'm about to eat shit. That's the end of it.
It should just be abort mission, jump off before it.
Yeah, you shouldn't have
Well,
started.
yes. Yes, exactly.
You get to that point of no return where it's like, no, now I'm at the point where if I jump off, it's too fast for me to run.
Yeah.
I'm not going to run at this speed. And there was one time, I swear, there was a guardian angel looking over my shoulder. I was coming home and I had my backpack and I was coming down the hill to my house and I started getting the wobbles and I was like, nope, it's too far and I'm going to fall. And I was like, if I aim, and I dove, and there was like a long strip of grass and it was like freshly watered. I slid, I swear to God, like 30 yards.
Saved your life. The grass saved your life.
I did the exact same thing.
No injuries whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's wild.
You had the same thing?
The same thing coming home from elementary school. There's a big hill, and I just decided one day, like, I got this. I could do this. And I never had actually experienced speed wobbles before. And then it started wobbling, but luckily, basically the one side of the sidewalk was the street and then the other side was grass. So I had grass the whole way, but I didn't consider that a safety option. But I did the same thing, just dove into it. And Pete Rose my way to safety.
Yeah. It was one of those times where I wished cameras were rolling because I know the comedy was intense.
I had a
For
friend
anyone
try
seeing
to,
my backpack dive.
I had a friend try to bomb a hill switch because that was really hot at the time. So you said switch instead of bombing it backwards.
Yeah.
And he got speed wobbles halfway down and fell off. And I was bombing the hill next to him going forwards. And when he fell off and started grinding his flesh off, I was right next to him just looking at his face.
Watching it disappear.
Yeah, and he was looking at my face and I was like, wow, you're like being burnt alive almost, it seems. There was nothing anybody could do. There was nothing, I can't get you.
Lift that up for
I
you.
can't reach out or anything. I was just like, wow, that looks like it really hurts. And that was that.
I can't believe you didn't get sympathy wobbles. You were like, no, I'm smooth. I'm good. Later.
Sympathy wobbles.
Does it make you feel better?
That would have made him feel better. He would have felt way better. Man, I'm an asshole.
Yeah,
I just kept going. Oh, man, that is all sympathy wobbles. That is so good.
So, Jack, I got to tell you that I don't know how this came on a couple months ago. I was watching, falling asleep to something, and The Jackal came on.
Oh,
The
man,
movie.
that was my That's so funny.
And I remembered that was the first time I ever saw you. And I thought, who is that guy? It feels like he's way cooler than any of this stuff.
Yeah.
There was something about what you were projecting. It was like, oh, that guy's like, he gets it. He's down. And it's weird he's in this movie.
Yeah.
Did you
With
feel like
Bruce
that?
Willis.
With Bruce Willis, yeah.
Yeah.
Was that your first big role?
That was a cool gig.
Was he nice? Sorry.
He was nice to me. But you know, he's a big star, and it was there was a couple big star moments where it's like, wait, where's Bruce? I've been waiting in my trailer all day, and they're like, oh, he took a quick trip to get some lunch. I was like, what? What do you mean a trip? He just jumped in the jet. He went to Paris he wanted to grab a sandwich for lunch from a special place. Because we were in London at the time, so it wasn't that far. But still, it was like, that's why everyone's waiting?
That's a
Because he went
baller
to
move.
get a special baguette sandwich he could only get in Paris? Is that what happened? I shouldn't talk out of school. That's the way I remember it.
Just to clarify, I met him. He was super cool.
Yeah.
I met him at an event. He was down.
Look, for the actors that are on
But that is amazing. That's
not
a
that
baller
cool.
move.
But it's also cool. If I'm Bruce Willis's friend and I know that he flew to Paris to get a sandwich, he's a gangster.
That's gangster, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes
It's a good sandwich.
Yeah. At that level where it's like, look, the only reason we're here making this movie is because I am bankable, and that's why they paid us all. I'm going to take this day to go to get a sandwich. Everyone's just got to go, all right, cool. We'll
Yeah,
see you when you
true.
get back.
Wow.
Thanks for the job. You got us all this job.
It's a great movie.
Thank you, kind sir.
Yeah,
it was
it's
fun
great.
to do.
Yeah,
Although
I
I
love
must say that when I was running through the swamp, when he
Yeah.
was going to shoot me with that
He blew your arm off,
gigantic
right?
gun,
Yeah.
yeah, I got so exhausted on the first take. I was like wheezing. I had a little asthma attack, and I was like, and the director was like, "Great, we got to do it again. Let's go again as soon as you're ready, Jack." And I was like, and I went back to my little tent to take a little breather.
You didn't go to Paris to get
they
a sandwich?
said, do you mind if we do another take with the stunt man? And I was like, yeah, go ahead. And the stunt man did the take and just pretended to be me, and it was following him from behind. And if you see the movie, a lot of that is my stunt man. I have to give my stunt man props for that run through the swamp. Can't
Was that
take
your
full
first-
credit for that performance.
Was that your first experience on a big production?
Yeah, on a big action movie. Yeah. Before that, I had done only a couple little indies like Bob Roberts with my buddy Tim
Oh, yeah.
Robbins. That was my first film. And a couple little gigs here and there. But yeah, so that was like my first taste of the big leagues, the big, blockbuster budget movies. And that was pretty fun. Except for my swamp exhaustion.
What do you think was the breakout role?
Definitely High Fidelity.
Yeah.
But
you
it
were
was
so in
really
your element
Tenacious
with all the
D.
music, right?
Yeah. But it was Tenacious D that was the stepping stone, because we got Tenacious D going. Me and Kyle put out some little episodes on HBO. And then my buddy John Cusack from the Actors Gang was like, Tenacious D is so funny. Will you be in this movie that I wrote called High Fidelity? I want you to play this crazy dude that works in the record store. And I was scared to do it because I was like, yeah, well, I'm really trying to rock with this band Tenacious D. And I feel like if I do a movie about rock, it's going to take away my cred as a rocker.
Oh,
and
wow.
so I turned it down like an idiot. But then John was like, don't do this. I'm not going to let you turn this down. You're an idiot. This is going to be a great opportunity. We got this Stephen Frears directing. It was one of my favorite directors. And it turned out I was just scared. I was scared to fail.
And it's
And
a
I
Nick
had to
Hornby book.
face. It's a great book.
Yeah.
So I had to face my inner demons of fear, because it was kind of like the Wobbles. Like I was afraid I was going to beef it in front of all my peers.
See, I was going to
that
say, he
gonna
talks
suck.
about how he chickens out of skateboarding, but he's one of the greatest singer actors of our time, which means that you had to go through tons of trial and error and fear and rejection, more than a lot of skateboarders. So you are a very courageous man. Just not,
Thank
maybe not so
you.
much.
I'm
in
glad
the
we
bowl.
came around back to my cowardice, and yeah, it's not. I do have my brave moments.
Obviously,
And,
I mean,
and
I'm
you're
not
walking,
laughing, but-
you're literally walking the walk with a sprained ankle.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Was
torn
right.
ligaments, Tony.
Was that from rocking too hard?
It was from comedy. I was going on the Conan O'Brien farewell episode, and we had a comedy bit where I was gonna come out and say, I love you, Conan, and now I'm going to rock for you. And I was going to sing a goodbye song to him. And then during the singing of the song, I was going to like get a fake injury. And I was going to, my fucking Achilles tendon. I'm out. And then they were going to get like fake paramedics to come and get me and take me to the fake ambulance. And then as they were driving away, I bust open the doors of the ambulance saying, no, I can't let down my friend. And I'm running back to the theater and I bust back in and I finished the song, the farewell song. But as we were taping the pre-tape of me running back from the ambulance in my Speedos, by the way, I forgot to mention, I actually rolled my ankle. I stepped on like an uneven piece of sidewalk and I rolled my ankle and tore the ligaments right there, and for real. While
the
it's
irony.
so weirdly meta, like the gods of comedy were like, "No, you cannot fake this for the farewell episode. You must get real injured." And I rolled, and I went down, and I knew that I was screwed. And it hurt so bad. I went and I got the MRI or the MRI the next day, and I'm like, "Yeah, you can't. You gotta take it easy." And I was like, "But can I sing?" And the doctor was like, "You can sing." And so I went to do the farewell episode with Conan, and I did sing, but we didn't do, obviously the fake injury and all of that comedy bit. But it turned out to be like a really good farewell to Conan, because instead of pretending to get hurt and then heroically coming back and finishing the song, I really got hurt. And then heroically came back and did the show anyway. It was much more
I hope you made him well
dramatic.
aware of that.
Oh, he knows. He knows. He will. I will. I keep it in my back pocket. My call Conan in case of emergency. You owe me.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
Jack and I have crossed paths a few times over the last couple decades, and there was Tenacious D played was it Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 party?
Yeah, it was 3 or 4.
Like the rap party just for the employees.
It was 3 or 4.
Yeah, whatever.
I remember. I can't
Too many.
remember shit.
He's got so many,
But-
it's hard to keep up.
I do remember loving playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater and going to that party and playing. And it felt like we were playing to skate royalty there too. It was pretty rad audience.
Yeah, all the skaters there too. That was amazing. But you guys did the full set, all the video stuff, like the segues, the acts. It was amazing.
We probably played too much. That's always been our Achilles heel, is that we never leave them wanting more. We always go full guns a-blazing, like it's our last show of our lives, always.
Yeah. That's how I feel like that's what I do when I skate. I'm just like, this is got to give everything. So there is I don't know if I've ever told you the story or formally apologized, but you and I were both in Wellington, New Zealand at the same time.
Yeah.
And you were shooting King Kong, and somehow we were in touch at the time, and I was there for a skate demo
Yeah.
with Bucky.
Yeah.
But it was and I kept saying like, "Oh, let's try to connect. And I think it was the day I arrived, and we were emailing each other. And I said, "Oh yeah, they're gonna the skaters are." I thought there was some VIP thing, like a VIP bar they were going to, and I said, "Oh, they're all going to this bar or whatever." And it was the day I arrived, right after we skated, and I fell asleep. And then I woke up and it was like midnight or something. And I think I caught a couple messages from you like, "Oh, are you still going? What's going on?" And then I found out later that he went And it was like I threw him to the wolves because it was just the bar that everyone was going to.
Oh no!
And
he just went there.
And he went. Do you remember that?
I wish I could remember. I have no recollection.
Because so the next day, because I still wasn't, you didn't, obviously our schedules were out of sync, but you didn't reply. Like couldn't tell if you had actually gone. And so I was like, he probably didn't go, because he's waiting for me to find out if he was gone. And then I went the next day to the same event and they're like, dude, Jack Black was at the bar last night. You missed him. And then another guy was like, hey man, Jack Black was looking for you last night. And I was like, oh fuck.
Oh God.
So,
I don't want you to spend one more instant feeling guilty about that because it is lost in the sands of time entirely.
But I just want to say, I apologize for that.
90% of all my memories.
But the irony, not the irony, but the funny thing is just that I was so excited that we were going to connect because I don't think we had actually connected yet. And I was like, that's so sick. I'm going to go meet Jack Black. That's awesome. And then just jet lag.
How could you fall asleep when you're going to go to a bar with Jack Black? Because
I was just arrived in New Zealand. Yeah, I'm the idiot. I did. I think
But then we've had so many great times since then.
We have. Yes, absolutely. And
dude, we formed a band since then.
Oh,
we made
Tenacious
Kyle
Devo.
jealous with our band Black Hawk Down.
And Black Hawk Down.
What? You can never get. Well,
now I'm getting jealous. Okay, now
when we went to his house,
that's what we called our band when we jammed in my basement after Tony and his son played.
He was jamming. Was your son was playing drums?
Yeah.
No, you were singing. Your son was playing drums. My son was playing guitar.
Riley.
Yeah, Riley. And then he put me on his keyboard. I don't play keyboard, so I'm just playing notes that I think are matching what's going on.
I think it's on video, right?
It's on video, yeah.
It doesn't sound like you're doing a bad thing.
I don't know.
It sounded like you were all a part of it.
I think it's on video. I don't know. I've removed some of the videos for reasons I can't go into now. But I will say this.
That one probably is on video. That was I know the other thing. Safe. The other thing is probably removed. Yes.
Yeah, we can't even talk about the other thing. But I will say this. We've shared magical times.
Yes.
And whatever thing we missed in New Zealand, I forgive you because it's like the other side of the universe. New Zealand, if you're ever going to get jet lag, it's going to be LA to New Zealand. It's literally
and Wellington because you got to go deeper than Auckland.
Yeah. Dude, Wellington.
But
I remember having the best. Wellington was heaven. I love New Zealand and Wellington. Doing
it's so amazing.
Kong, living in Wellington.
It's Lord of the Rings, right?
You got to be careful though, because there is zero ozone. So if you spend like 20 minutes in direct sunlight, you will instantly get cancer and die. But other than that, gorgeous. It might be because I had the Peter Jackson red carpet. And I was like, when I got to Wellington, I was like, where am I staying? Am I staying in a hotel? No, we got you a house up on top of the gorgeous hill overlooking Karaka Bay. And I was like, that looked like a house made of glass that Peter Jackson hooked me up with. I was like, okay, I want to just live here. It was so beautiful.
I remember a lot of wind.
I can't believe that you're saying, no way. New Zealand, why do you think New Zealand wouldn't be heaven?
I thought it was very windy.
I thought it was boring.
Oh, windy Wellington. Right. That's the thing that, it's the same thing they say about Seattle. It's like, it rains all the time. It's horrible. Everyone commits suicide. That's like a thing that people in Seattle, a rumor they start to keep people from coming. Because it's heaven. It's a gorgeous emerald city.
That's what I remember.
Wellington's got a little wind, but it's a little slice of paradise.
No, it was amazing. It was an awesome time. Wow.
I skated a skate park in Wellington once and only one person came up to me and he had white gumboots on. So I guess that there was like a meat killing place real close because this guy had
to the skate park.
He had a white trench coat on and white gumboots and he looked scary as hell. And then I told some local that I skated that skate park and he was like, nobody with your complexion is supposed to be down there. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, it's where all the Maori gangs with all the face tattoos, like they all hang out there. And he's like, were you by yourself? I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, because nobody goes there. My mum just dropped me off there for like 2 hours by myself.
Wow.
I had no idea.
That's an intense New Zealand story. I bet he
He's got a story about people rushing the ramp with machetes, not in New Zealand,
Oh, in Australia,
but in
yeah, my
Australia.
home ramp.
For
Yeah.
real, that did happen.
Wow.
Yeah, commission flats across the road.
You thought Upland Pipeline was dangerous.
Dang.
What's crazy is I would have been way more intimidated by Upland Pipeline because those are my peers that would have been angry at me.
Right.
I'd be like, if Christian or you know, I mean, whatever those Selber guys were not cool with me, I'd be scared and heartbroken. These were just
Yeah.
like a bunch of kids that were like, they had no life, and they, you know, I mean, they had machetes. And they're like, sick of these guys over here riding that half pipe. Let's all chop them up. So it was more of just a run, just running and ducking.
Where in Australia from?
Melbourne, Australia.
Love it. Love Melbourne.
I bet you've
Tenacious D. We had a great a concert there at Luna Park.
Yeah.
We did our only New Year's Eve. We did a New Year's Eve concert there, and we were really freaked out because we'd never done a New Year's Eve concert. I think it's like 2002 or 2003, and we were like, "Dude, they're gonna be drunk as hell out there. It's gonna be a rowdy crowd because New Year's Eve people party." And we're like, "I don't know if we're gonna be able to handle this raucous, drunken crowd of maniacs." And we're like, "I know what to do. Let's get drunk. Fight fire with fire."
No, that's perfect.
And we
They'll
went
love
out there drunk as skunks, and they were drunk and we were drunk, and we just had the best concert ever.
Yep.
And then I watched it later on tape, and I was like, we were so drunk. We were playing like shit, but it didn't matter because we were in the spirit, and it was
Right.
a really amazing crowd. Dude, Australia, some of the best rock crowds in the world. And Melbourne, it's like the cooler side of Australia because
Yeah.
everyone goes to Sydney, and it's a
Yeah.
gorgeous city,
Yep.
big bustling metropolis.
Yeah.
But if you know what's up,
That's
you're down
right.
at Melbourne.
Melbourne's
it's way more
underground cool.
bohemian,
Yeah.
where the kids go, and the the culture and the artists.
Yeah. It's not so mainstream
Love it.
for sure.
Like London to Manchester, kind of in the early
To me,
80s.
it's like a little bit like, I think Sydney's like LA and Melbourne's like New York, but Melbourne's just smaller. But it's definitely like a lot more.
Yeah.
They think they're more sophisticated. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Whether they are or not is maybe wrong.
Hey, Jack, did you see that there was some, I think it was one clip or two, School of Rock that started making the rounds again recently?
No. What clip?
was pretty cool.
Is there a clip floating around?
There's a clip
School of Rock
where,
clip?
where it's some, you know how something just arises all of a sudden on the Twitter or
Yeah.
on Instagram or something where people are like, this scene was such a big thing. And then people just start. So it was a scene when you're telling the girl about Aretha Franklin
Oh yeah,
and
Miriam. Yeah,
and then
she's a
people were,
great singer
that
now.
clip was like, people now are saying this moment in that movie changed my life.
Oh, that's rad. Well, it
I
was
wonder if
from
you
the
saw that.
heart. You know, it's true because I've always struggled with my weight, and that confidence can be shattered at an early age if you feel like, you're not built the way you're supposed to be. You don't look the way you can, and you have shame that you can't control your hunger, and you want to eat alone so no one can see. And if you can get someone to give you a little confidence, like I remember seeing like Meatloaf and some other like rockers who were like heavy and didn't give a shit. It was like such a great, and I wanted to make that scene if it could give some kids some confidence and not feel so crappy about themselves. And I'm glad that it touched some people.
It did. I mean,
and gave some
I just saw how
positive
people were
vibes.
just jumping on it. Like, yes, exactly that made me feel okay and made me pursue my dreams. And it's just really cool that it felt like it was more of an organic scene and one that
good.
only you could have created. So awesome.
I
Congrats.
love it. Big ups to Mike White, who wrote that movie, and he wrote that character for me. He came up with that whole idea, the concept of the School of Rock, where this like schlubby kind of loser rocker, wannabe rocker, gets a chance to rock in that school. And he's a rad writer he just did this show. Did you hear about this show on HBO that just came out? The White Lotus.
Yeah, I've been watching that. It's the greatest father, son, daughter, son for me because I've got a 16-year-old and a 12-year-old. And every time they have a conversation where the kid isn't interested in the father and the father's trying to like be a part of their lives.
Yeah.
But it shows like the perspective. Because as a dad, like with my daughter, she's 16. She doesn't want to hang out with me. And if I'm like, come on, like, let's go to dinner. She's like, oh, dinner, like with you. And I'm like, man, do you know how much that hurts? But I can't say that.
Yeah.
But then they show in like relax. To me, a lot of times when I'm watching it, I go, relax, Dad. You know what I mean? You're there for him. That's all that matters. Like it'll come round. But right now, you're totally uncool. No matter what you do, no matter who you know, you suck.
Yeah, he really captures that disconnect, that generational gap.
It's amazing.
Where you know the parent really wants to have a connection, but it's just there's something in the way, and it's dark and twisted. And it's just like about privileged families going to a resort in Hawaii.
So it makes you not want to go to Hawaii.
That's not going to be a movie. That's not going to be a show I want to watch. That sounds like dark and uncomfortable, and it's just great. Yep. The writing is so good and so funny, and the characters are so good. But big ups to Mike White if you're out there. Wrote School of Rock and still rocking all these years later.
So he did another movie that I know Mark Mothersbaugh did the soundtrack to. About this dinner party where I don't know, it kind of goes awry. I don't remember the name of it, but
oh yeah. No, he's always like dipping his toe. He goes back and forth between like big hit stuff and then a little indie weird stuff.
I love that.
He's always doing something interesting.
Where are you placing your focus these days?
Lately, I've been doing during pandemic times. I've been doing a lot of voice work, doing some animations. Doing some Tenacious D. We got some cool stuff in the works right now because it's our 20th anniversary of our first album. So if you want to check out our little celebration, tooting our own horn a little bit, on tenaciousd.com, you can see the Tenacious D Advent Calendar. And all this month, because our anniversary of the first album release was September 20th, I believe. So every day this month that you can go to our website and open up a door. You know those Advent calendars?
Yeah, of course.
And so like we're on day 2 now, and you open it up and you get a little surprise content of Tenacious D nuggets that have never been released.
Ooh,
and it's pretty rad.
Sick.
Yeah.
Wow. But, I saw you did those animations with like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Did you see those?
Oh, yeah.
Those are pretty wild.
Post-apocalypto.
Post-apocalypto, yeah.
Yeah,
oh, man.
that was a record and a cartoon that we made that was sort of in the vein of like The Road Warrior, because it just felt like very end of the world times in 2016, and we're like, we got to do our like apocalyptic movie project, and we were proud of that. But now we're working on another album. I can't tell you about the concept because it's too secret and powerful, but yeah.
What about, you do a lot of stuff with Taylor, a lot of social media stuff. Yeah. How did you come to that?
Well, that was just another thing where it was like pandemic times. I'm not going to go out and make movies right now, but I felt like attention in the world. And I was like, you know what? We need to let off some steam and get some laughs going. I felt like it was kind of just my duty to clown. It was like, send in the clowns. Things are too dark. And I was just hit by the inspiration to just get in the Speedo because I saw some people doing there was like, the WAP dance challenge. And I was like, yeah, I'm throwing my hat in the WAP dance challenge ring. So I started off just like, spray this hose on me and film me doing the WAP dance. I'm going to dry hump the ground in my backyard. And then it just struck a nerve and it went viral and like it got like 10 million views. And I was like, oh man, if there's only a way to keep this party going. And Taylor came in and was like, there is a way. Put on this Spider-Man suit I bought for you. And so then, all of a sudden Spider-Man was doing the WAP and climbing up the walls. And then it led to like a Marvel renaissance.
Yeah.
And I did Iron Man, and then Robert Downey Jr. gave me a shout out on Instagram, giving me the thumbs up. And I was like, oh, we're off to the races. And then I had to do Thor, and I called out Chris Hemsworth, and then couldn't stop there. Had to do my favorite of all time, the Hulk, from when I was a little kid. And I was like, I'm finally going to get to be the Hulk. And I had my wife cover me from head to toe in green oil paint, every nook and cranny, and she was disgusted by my weird crevices. And we caught that on camera too. That was good comedy. And then we capped it off with Captain America. That was Taylor's idea because it was a perfect allegory, because Captain America is this skinny weakling that gets the shot that makes him into this super impervious, bulletproof superhero. And we're like, oh my God, it's perfect for the vaccination times. We're gonna dovetail this into a message. And that kind of like sealed the deal on that whole like Marvel, me and a Speedo being Marvel characters. We finished it there, and we finished strong. And
Taylor Stevens, right?
Yep, Taylor Stevens. Great videographer.
Really talented, doing his own special effects and stuff.
Yep. And
he's
Dwayne
been
The
great.
Rock Johnson noticed, and he was like, hey, why don't you step up to the big leagues? So he works with Dwayne The Rock sometimes now. No hard feelings, no problem there.
And Mark Mothersbaugh.
No, he works with a lot of different people, and he's in demand. But I like to think that our special collabs are his favorite to do. But
probably more favorite than The Rock, that's for sure.
Well, Dwayne The Rock, he's got like 250 million followers. Not that I'm keeping track of who's got the most followers, but he's got like the size of a small country following him. So, when he like toys around with the idea of running for president, you actually have to take it seriously. It's like, wait, if everyone who's following him voted for him, then he would win in a landslide.
Yep.
It's a strange time we live in, where it is a lot about popularity.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
wow.
Hopefully, I'll be like secretary.
Well, you're not running for office, right?
Well, no.
What about governor of California? That's open. You could take that.
Exactly. If called to service, I wouldn't.
I would vote for him immediately.
Dude, governor, I voted no on the recall. I think it's really ridiculous. There's going to be an election in 2022. Can't we just wait around a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
We'll see what happens. Fucking politics, man.
Right.
I'm sick of it. I'm over the politics.
Me too.
But I keep getting sucked back in.
Me too. I hate that shit. More jokes, more skateboarding.
What's that?
More jokes, more skateboarding. Less politics.
More Speedos.
Yeah.
More Speedos, less politics.
Dude, well, that's the whole, the healing of my ankle is all about getting back to the Speedo. Because the country needs me. The world needs me. Back in that Speedo.
America needs a smile on its face.
What is
and your
the next,
Speedo does it.
Okay, we know Tenacious D's got something in store. We got the Advent calendar. What is the next film project?
Well, I got something cooking in development that we're very close on, but it's not a done deal that me and Ice Cube may be doing in Hawaii. We'll see it. I hesitate to even talk about stuff until it's 100% because
that's
you
all right.
never know.
That gave us enough.
Yeah, no, that was juicy. Thank you.
That was some good incentive to get excited.
I love that project. And there's a couple other things that I'm not allowed to talk about because if it doesn't happen, you know how it goes.
Yep.
But suffice to say, I got something cooking that I'm excited about. Little cartoon here, little live action there. But
I do have to thank you for agreeing to play Officer Dick in the THPS 1 and 2 remaster.
Oh my God, of course.
That was one of the coolest things ever. And I remember when I asked you about it, I floated the idea and you said, I was born to play Officer Dick.
Not a lot of people can say that and be sincere.
It was good times. And it was cool to get into the chamber of the technology over Activision.
You get into the sphere
Yeah.
with cameras
Yes.
everywhere.
Oh, shit.
To the point where
Surrounds
you
you.
kind of get vertigo, right? Because you don't really know which way is up when you're standing there.
Yeah. And it was weird
Hundreds of
because
cameras.
I had worked for Activision before, but it was like, oh my God, it was like 35 years before.
Yeah, time machine.
My first gig ever when I was 13 years old.
What?
Is that 35? What's 35 plus 13? It doesn't matter. Um, and so it was a weird, like coming full circle. Cause yeah, my first Activision commercial, was my first gig.
When
and,
you were a kid?
Yeah. And it
For
got
what
me my
film? For
SAG
what game?
card. It was called Pitfall.
Oh, Pitfall was
And it was
legendary.
a rad
that
game
put
for
Activision on the
Atari.
map.
Yep, 2600. And it was cool because while we were there working on the set of your game, I took a poll. I said, everyone here working at Activision, who's been here the longest? Who's the longest person who's worked for Activision? And someone says, it's me. I've worked for Activision for 24 years. And I was like, wrong. It's me. I was here in 84. Okay. So welcome aboard, newbie. No, it was pretty dumb. It was cool to be back with Activision after all those decades.
And one of the pitfalls, pardon the pun, of COVID was that you were going to be Officer Dick and Kyle was going to be Ollie the Magic Bum, which is also a character, secret and an unlockable character. Kyle Gass, KG,
Yeah.
Rage Cage. And because of COVID, he couldn't come to the studio. They
Shit
couldn't do it
balls.
in time. They couldn't develop his character. I felt bad because I know he was excited about it.
Man, he didn't get to sing with James Hetfield and he didn't make it in the video game?
Yeah, and he didn't get to do our Devo collab, but we're not talking about that either.
Wow.
Yet another thing that he can be jealous of. And that's a bonus for me, as we've established. I live to make Kyle jealous.
Well,
Why?
you're doing a great job.
Why am I such a sick puppy? Why do I need that?
Oh, man.
I saw Kyle, the first time I met him was at a Cure concert.
Oh my God.
And he was excited because I recognized him. Not that he
Yes.
knew I was at the time, but I was like, Kyle, KG. He's like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, Tony Hawk. He's like, cool.
Yeah. He's going on a little tour of his own. Kyle Gass Saves the World. That's all of Rocktober. And I feel like he's just doing it to make me jealous. And
He's not going out as Tanak.
I don't blame him.
no, but
The other half of the cheek.
Yeah.
anyone who's interested in rocking real hard with Cage, go check out Cage on his tour
What do
right
you-
through.
what is-
He's
what's
not
the set
afraid.
list like on
He's
that?
not afraid of pandemic times. He's going to rock right through it. He's fully vaxxed.
Yeah.
But go ahead and wear a mask anyway when you go to the show.
What does his set list look like? Do you know?
I don't know, but I know that he rocks solo all the time. And he'll put together a rad show. Look for it on tenaciousd.com. We got the list of dates and stuff on
That's
there.
it. You know, and go support Kyle. He needs it. He's missed out on a couple
Yeah.
opportunities.
You guys
He
are
needs
making
to
it
make
sound
me
like
jealous too, you
it's
know.
bad for Kyle. He's doing all right. I'm pretty sure
I'm
he's
just
okay.
kidding.
He's doing
No,
good.
he's awesome.
Yeah.
We love Tenacious D. Well, hey, Jack, appreciate you coming on our show. First time we did a virtual guest, and we're thankful it was you.
Might not even really be him. It's virtual.
I think it's him.
I'll leave
I
soon.
see him
Let's
scratching
do
his
it in
beard. It's him.
person, up close and in person next time.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Let's skate
100%.
and jam.
I think
We'll
we
come back
did
to the
good
year.
for virtual. You know what I mean?
You were great.
Hey, feel free to snip out all the boring parts. I won't be hurt if you edit this down to a magnificent 20 minutes.
No way. Our audience wants more than an hour these days, so we're
good.
giving them at least an hour.
We're going to slow down the
Well,
recording. So you're like,
Then
whoa,
maybe we should
okay.
talk about all my favorite things. I've been listening to books on tape lately. That's a new thing for me. I checked out the Quentin Tarantino Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, 10 hours driving, listening to that book. You ever rock a book on tape?
I actually have. Yeah.
Tony's like in hell. He's like, I seriously was wrapping up this interview. Now Jack is opening up a whole new chapter about
No,
books
the
on
last
tape.
book on tape, the last audio book that I listened to was the Beastie Boys one.
Oh,
Which was great.
That's a good tip. I was wondering what my next one would be. I will definitely check
they
that.
do other very cool celebrities reading it.
Hell
love it.
yeah. Oh, dude. I loved their documentary that Spike Jones did.
Yep.
That was
It's very much like
beautiful.
that. Right.
Beautiful tribute to MCA.
MCA.
And also, dude, Seth Rogen's book on tape is rad because it is voiced, but it's narrated by Seth Rogen. I like it when the author is the narrator, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, especially him.
And he's funny as hell, dude.
Yeah, he's
and
funny.
his stories, I'm always blown away by people that can write a good book about their lives because I was like, how do you remember everything? And then I realized because they're writers. Writers always keep journals and they have like
Oh, yeah.
copious notes on everything that happened. And I get a little jealous. I was like, I wish I kept a journal so I could go back and remember everything. It's all lost
Or at
in the
least remember
sands of
it like it
time.
actually happened.
Yeah. I usually
Dude,
rely
because
on.
then when you say, hey, remember that time I flaked on you in New Zealand? I was like,
Yeah.
wait, 1 second.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I wrote a book
I got a
about
whole
it.
fucking chapter about it. But it's gone.
Well, I'm thankful you didn't then. I do have a funny story
Yeah.
about Seth, though. Seth Rogen, I'm in touch with him once in a while on email. But whenever at my office, Seth, who works directly for me, who is like the guy that handles all my schedule and travel and everything, among many other duties, whenever I send him an email, it defaults to Seth Rogen, like on, when you're selecting which Seth you're going to do or with John. And there's been a couple times where I almost sent him just some mundane email about a schedule or a flight. And I was like, I wonder what would happen if he got that. Like, cool, Tony. Sounds good. I'm glad you're going to Texas on Monday.
It's nice. Nice to know you still have a job.
Yeah. Appreciate it. That's my funny story. But I that's it. It wasn't. I needed it for it to have happened to tell a funnier story. I realized that as it was coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Like it should have happened, and then
Do
he
you
would have
want to
replied.
email him about your interview with Jack Black and how you made a really lame story right at the end of the podcast?
Well, the truth is,
No,
I
'cause
wasn't
it's supposed to be
listening
for
to
the other
any of
Seth.
it, Tony. I was thinking about the next thing I was going to say. This is a problem I have. Oftentimes when I'm in a conversation, I phase out because I have a little ADHD. And
I feel
start
like I
thinking
do that
about
on this show.
the next thing.
I
and
feel
I
like
have
sometimes
to
you're telling me
consciously say,
something.
no, listen to the other person that's talking. Focus on them. And I failed that time. Would you mind telling me that whole Seth Rogen story again from the beginning?
Yes.
I want to know what you were thinking about that was going to be next.
I was
That's
thinking
more
some
important.
dumb shit about how he's like, I see him that when he's making his pottery, he's
yeah.
pottery kiln guy now.
What?
And
Yeah, he does. What do you call it?
Plates?
No, he does pottery.
and then
He's
I was
like-
also thinking about like, oh, I forgot to tell you about how I'm doing that movie, Borderlands, which is a video game movie, and that is announced, so I'm allowed to tell you about that. That I was
What is
play
that?
Claptrap. It's a video game, and it's post-apocalyptic as well. And it's kind of like Road Warrior. And I play this like R2D2 type robot character, Claptrap.
Yes.
And so I just everyone had to go off to like Timbuktu. I don't know where they were off in like the Belarus or somewhere exotic. And I got to just go over to my friend's house and do like a voice session for 1 hour, but I'm in just as much of the movie as all of those other
like
people.
that was your whole role.
Dude, that's when I realized voiceover work rules.
That's amazing.
You go
That's
somewhere
amazing.
in your pajamas for a few hours and you're done, and everyone else has to go to hell for fucking 3 months. Oh, I don't ever have to go back to making movies. I like just doing voice in movies.
Oh, but it's because the other people are doing live action in this movie,
Yes.
and you're just the voice.
waking
of the
up
robot.
at 5 a.m. and doing
Got
2
it.
hours of makeup and hair. And I'm just like strolling into my buddy's place. at noon.
Sweet.
And we're done at 5. And I'm like, oh my God, we're done with a movie? Awesome. I don't know. Anyway, I hate to leave it on a note of laziness. I'm lazy and that rules.
No, that was
now
good.
I gotta go.
We got another reveal. You're in Borderlands. That's
Dude,
important.
See, that was all
boys,
from that.
I'm going to go
Sorry.
pick up my
that
boys from school
push.
now.
Aw, go Super Dad.
I promised I would pick them up from school.
Same. My daughter gets out in an hour. So, all right.
I
Thanks,
feel
Jack.
like we did it, though. I feel like we did it doggy style. Every which way but loose.
Wow. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I'll
Yeah,
go with that.
Just say yep.
Yep.
Feel free to edit that. Anything you want to snip out.
Tell your boys I said what up.
100%.
One of them hit me up on Instagram the other day.
Oh, really?
I felt, yeah.
I'm sure I know which one it was.
Hey,
it was
I
the
just want to
Drop-In
say
King.
thanks for being such an inspirational rock star that doesn't act like a rock star and still sings as good as any rock star. And
Oh, dude.
you're just a great person. Thank you for existing.
Dude, feelings mutual. Back at you.
Hey,
Let's rock
Rock
again
lock.
soon, shall
rock
we?
lock for you right here.
Yeah.
All right.
Everyone wants to do that one. The other one is just regular horns. Yeah, rock lock.
All right. Thanks, Jack.
Peace out.
Talk to you soon.